Let's turn this up. Let's watch this.
Ladies and lads, Spag here.
Let's
Hope you're
watch
all
this.
doing
You
well.
try to see some
Thanks to
gameplay.
Bandai Namco, I was invited to the Bandai Namco EU headquarters in Lyon, France, and got to play Tekken 8 early. The game felt amazing, and after playing the game and talking to the developers,
I'm
it's
low-key
clear
jealous.
that
I
they
ain't
made
even
changes to the
gonna, I ain't
game
even
to
gonna
make
lie.
it more. Ladies and lads, Tekken 8 system overview.
System overview.
So first up, let's go over the general system changes for
Let's
Tekken
get
8.
it.
Number 1. Running tackles no longer exist.
What?
I suppose that was a change made to prevent people getting an advantage by being too far away. Because in Tekken 7, if you're far away enough from
I'm
your
just joking.
opponent,
Baby
and you
Man
run
just
in,
talked about that.
you do a plus on block running tackle, which is actually a power crush as well. So it gives you a little bit of an advantage. In past Tekken games before Tekken 7, it was actually an unblockable. But now, if you were to run in on your opponent, you'll just stop right in front of them. Number 2. Forward into hold forward actually makes the character run now. Now this was a little bit weird for me to get used to at first, but it makes it much easier to approach and do running moves. But don't worry, it doesn't make it possible to do instant running. I think this was just a change to allow people who are new to the game to perhaps be able to get in much easier. So forward into hold forward will give you a run. Number 3, wall bounces no longer exist in Tekken. Now this is from what we saw. We played a lot of different characters and it doesn't seem like any of them had wall bounces. Now wall bounce was added into the game with Geese's back 2 back in Tekken 7, and then eventually everybody got one, but I don't think they exist anymore in Tekken. Next up, we've got a big one.
I thought they already
kicks
existed.
No longer knock you down, even
I thought
on
they
counter
existed.
hits. This is a
I
huge
apparently
change
don't fucking
made
know.
to prevent players being scared to approach the opponent on
Hold
the
on.
floor.
Slow down.
Next up, we've got a big one. Get up kicks no longer knock you down, even on counter hits.
What?
This is a huge change made to prevent players being scared to approach the opponent on the floor.
That's a huge
and be
fucking
more
change.
aggressive.
That was an advantage I had, dog.
Made to prevent
What?
players being scared to approach the opponent on the floor and be more
No,
aggressive.
they
I got
removed
five
that?
moves a lot, so you're not going to be knocked down anymore, not going to be launched.
No
running into a get-up
fucking
kick.
way.
Ladies and lads, the next one is a massive.
Yo, for real. They removed that? Everything else seemed like fucking, all right, that's reasonable. But that, like, come on, man. That was a defense mechanism that worked, bro.
Always been an
The fuck?
incredible answer to aggressive play.
No fucking
and
way.
Now they've been changed.
I'm
In
upset
order
about
to
that
get
one.
A Magic 4 counter hit launch. You now have to commit
Hold
to
on.
a full string.
I talk too
answer
much.
to
Hold
a
on.
Huge change. Magic 4s have always been an incredible answer to aggressive play, and now they've been changed.
No,
In order
that
to get
too.
a Magic 4 counter hit launch, you now have to commit to a full string, like Laws 4-3. But doing that puts you at risk of getting ducked and launched. So there's now more risk to throwing out a Magic 4.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
I don't know how you're going to feel about this. Some people will be happy, some people will be upset.
I mean,
But this will definitely force a player to play more aggressive and actually
you'd have to commit.
encourage
It's just
them
making
play
you
more
commit
aggressive.
to the
You're
hit.
no
You know what
longer
I'm saying?
scared of getting hit by an 11 frame, 12 frame count hit launcher. You can throw out those down forward ones. You can be more aggressive and you won't get hit too badly. Now this one is going to shock you. It might actually make you laugh as well, because it made me laugh.
I'm biased
Right.
as hell about
Here we
that
go.
fucking kick on knockdown.
Rage arts
That shit's
are
crazy.
now minus 13.
That
Yes,
shit's
you
crazy.
heard it correctly.
Rage
You heard
arts
it
are
right.
only.
Rage arts are no
Not
longer
launch
launch punishable. Now, this is from what we tested with some of the characters, and I don't know if this is going to remain the way it is, but definitely a 100%, no mistakes. The rage arts were not launch punishable when we played the game. So I wonder if that is, again, a change they've decided to make to prevent players from being scared to throw it out. I think they want players to throw it out and not be punished too hard for it.
No
Either way,
fucking
rage
way,
arts still do a
dog.
lot of damage, and yeah, they're not going to be punished too heavily now. The next change is a small one, but it's still quite significant. Spring kicks no longer knock you down on hit.
Okay.
And I think this makes sense now given the other changes, because as you know, they've already nerfed get up kicks.
I fucking hate
They're
that move.
nerfing
I
spring
never
as well.
fucking use
They
it.
really want players to be able to approach their opponent on the floor without being scared to get hit by a get up kick or a spring kick. The next change is something we anticipated. Low parries no longer give combo extenders like tailspin unless you use the heat burst. Now this makes it so much less risky to use lows, because in Tekken 7, even using a relatively safe low, or even a safe one, can lead to 50% of your health being gone. So this is definitely a welcome change. Now this one you guys already knew, but chip damage now exists in Tekken.
All I'm getting from this right now is that it's gonna be like beginner friendly, and that's not too bad, because like even the advanced players now they're still gonna fucking dominate. They're still gonna fucking dominate. But I don't know. I like it just because it's gonna give new players an easier time with the game. I just got my cousin into the game, and so it's not like he's having a hard time, but it's a lot different from any other fighting game. You know what I'm saying? Like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. You know, those 2D games. I think this is like the biggest 3D game that's out, but that's been out for a long time, since fucking Virtual Fighter, I think. Yeah, so it's a pretty hard game, and every character has tons of fucking moves. You can literally play every character how you
Coverable
want.
health.
So.
Now one thing you might not have known though is that when you're in rage, that chip damage is much less. And as the developers already said, you cannot act coverable health. Definitely much less risky to use lows, because in Tekken 7, even using a relatively safe low, or even a safe one, can lead to 50% of your health being gone. So this is definitely a welcome change. Now this one you guys already knew, but chip damage now exists in Tekken, but it leaves recoverable health. Now one thing you might not have known though is that when you're in rage, that chip damage is much less. And as the developers already said, you cannot actually die from chip damage.
Okay,
so there you have
that's
it.
cool.
Here are the changes from Tekken 7.
That's cool. You can't die from chip damage, but if you get hit, you know what I'm saying,
now, I didn't go
you
over
one
heat
shot,
system
somebody get
because
you
we're
one
gonna be
shot, then
talking
you
about
still fucked, so.
That later in a separate part of the video. But before that, let's go over the things that still exist and are the same between Tekken 7 and Tekken 8. So number 1, flip over Oki still exists. So moves like Asuka or Jun's forward 2 will still flip you over when you're on the ground and force you into another mix-up.
Okay,
now, I'm
I
sure
like
you'll
that.
be pleased to know, but throws are very much similar to Tekken 7. You can break generic grabs with 1 or 2, and the throw break window felt really similar to Tekken 7. Overall, it felt pretty easy to break grabs. Now I know if I don't mention this, I'm going to get a million dislikes on this video, so I might as well mention it right now. Ladies and lads, the movement feels very similar to Tekken 7. Next up, combo extenders.
I think the changes that they are making kind of make sense.
Combo extenders were from moves which had forward momentum and was called the tailspin. In Tekken 8, the combo extenders have an upwards motion and feels more like a tail flip. The moves launch you upwards and allow you to connect moves a lot easier. Because of the upwards momentum of the tail flip, it means that you get less wall carry, but it's a lot easier for you to connect your combo ender because you don't have to dash in as far. And as you can see in this example,
it's a free
Jack's
dash.
even able to do a dash into up 1+2 to get a wall splat. A unique thing about this tail flip though is that it actually works at the wall, similar to Tekken 6 Bound. So now you can go for a full wall carry and save your combo extender for the wall. As you can see here in this example, the Nina string flips up the opponent and almost re-wall splats. In another example, you see Law get a wall splat and use down to 3 as a tail flip to get another higher wall splat. However, this does count as an extra wall hit, so getting the 4-3 into DSS Dragon Cannon actually didn't work here as demonstrated in the clip.
Okay.
So in Tekken 6 you had the bound which gave you downwards momentum. In Tekken 7 you had the tail spin which gave you forward momentum. And now in Tekken 8 you have the tail flip which gives you upwards momentum. Finally, power crushes are still in the game. Now power crushes have been described as being a very good answer to dealing with heat pressure.
It's a good counter. I need to use it a lot more in Tekken 7, but it's a good counter, especially for people who like to pressure you. You can quickly use that move and get them off you real quick.
In the video.
Like right there, yeah.
We still don't know what the properties of these power
Jun
crushes
looks
are
fucking
in terms of
amazing,
when they
bro.
activate and all the kind of nerdy frame stuff about it.
wanna
But
fucking-
they are still in the game and they do have a lot
my
of
wiener.
utility. So be ready to learn what your character's power crushes are, because I think they're going to be important. I'm going to be talking about two main subjects here to break this down. Number one, how to enter heat, and number two, heat energy. The two main ways to enter heat are heat engager and heat burst. Starting with heat engagers. Heat engagers are special moves which automatically puts the player into heat and runs at the opponent to get a significant advantage. Each character is said to have an average of 5 of these, and as you can see, can be very, very oppressive. Heat can be a great way to start your offense, but as you can see in the video, can also be used to extend combos. An important detail about heat engagers though, is that they're only going to put you into heat if the moves hit. Heat burst is the other way you can enter into heat. Heat burst is a Tekken 6 bound type move which puts the player into heat at a slight advantage on block and hit. The difference here is that on heat burst, you can enter into heat even on block. You can use both heat engager and heat
that's good to know.
to make some pretty interesting combos. Now when it comes to heat energy, you want to keep two things in mind: heat dash and heat smash. Let's talk about heat energy now. As you can see in the corner of the heat bar, you have two chains that look like the number 8. That's heat energy and allows you to perform additional functions such as heat dash and heat smash.
Okay.
When you're in heat, you can choose to use heat dash, which is where the character dashes forward after using one of the heat engager moves to give you more advantage on block, or extend combos, and even turn engager moves into launchers. Heat dashes deplete 1 heat energy each usage. Heat smash, on the other hand, is a special attack which takes all of your heat meter and energy. Entering heat with heat engager gives +2 heat energy, and entering with heat burst gives +1 heat energy. Heat lasts 10 seconds but stops depleting while you're attacking, blocking, in the air,
Yeah,
or
you
if
can
you're
do
being
some
attacked.
crazy shit
An
with
important
that.
detail
I
about
imagine,
heat also
man.
is that when you
Holy
have
fuck.
heat and you attack, you will be gaining back your chip damage on block and on hit. Another interesting detail is that there are chains around the character avatar when heat is available. Heat is a big part of Tekken 8. It's going to be so significant to the competitive scene and even the casual scene. So get used to it and get ready to make some sick combos. The final thing I'll talk about is the special style, which Bandai Namco created.
It seems like everybody was kind of skeptical about the fucking heat system, but it sounds pretty fucking. It sounds kind of balanced so far. I'm kind of biased about the fucking the whole wake up fucking. It fucking upsets me, man. That they fucking changed. They changed all that shit, but I kind of get it. It's giving people a chance. You know what I'm saying? To fight back and shit. So I get it.